There is a weed growing in ditches across 49 states that will lather in your hands like dish soap. Crush a handful, work it in a little water, and it foams. Really foams. It is called soapwort, and people have washed with it for 2,000 years. So here is the question worth the next 10 minutes. If it is this good and this old, why have most of us never heard of it? The video that sent you here had an answer. A $50 billion industry buried it. That is the part worth stopping on, because it is not quite true, and the truth turns out to be stranger and far more useful than any conspiracy. Nobody buried this plant. No law was ever passed against it. What happened to it is quieter, and it happens to knowledge all the time. Welcome to the Green Archive. Today we open the file on soapwort, Saponaria officinalis, the plant some people still call bouncing bet or fuller's herb, and on the difference between a thing that was hidden and a thing that was simply allowed to be forgotten. Let us start with what the plant genuinely does, because it is real and it is old. Crush the right part of soapwort in water and it lathers, a true, stable foam. The reason is a family of compounds called saponins. Picture each saponin molecule as a tiny magnet with two opposite ends. One end reaches for water, the other clings to oil and grease. Agitate them in water and they lower its surface tension, wrap themselves around fats, and trap them inside bubbles. That is not folk magic. It is the exact same mechanism as the synthetic surfactant in the bottle under your sink. The plant simply grows it, in a ditch, for nothing. And here the original video created a confusion its own viewers caught within minutes. It kept saying roots while showing hands lathering the green leafy parts. So let us be exact, because it matters if you actually mean to use this. The saponins live throughout the whole plant, but they are most concentrated in the roots, richest in autumn, somewhere in the honest range of 10 to 20% by dry weight, depending on the season. The leaves work too. They are simply weaker. So both things are true at once. You can crush a handful of fresh leaves in water for a quick, gentle wash, or simmer the roots for something far stronger. One is a little greenery, the other is the concentrated engine. They are not the same, and calling them the same is how a useful plant becomes a confusing one. The history the video reached for is largely sound, and it is genuinely remarkable. 2,000 years ago, a Greek physician, Dioscorides, wrote down a plant used to wash wool and clean skin. In medieval England, an entire trade, the fullers, who cleaned and thickened raw wool, leaned on it so heavily that the plant took their name, fuller's herb, and the surname Fuller still carries that vanished trade inside it today. It even surfaces in scripture, in the fuller's soap named in the book of Malachi. Monasteries grew it in their washing beds. Museum conservators still reach for it now to clean tapestries and silks 5 centuries old that a modern detergent would tear apart. All of that is true and worth remembering, but the archive owes you the part the video left out. This was never only a European story. Long before any ship crossed the Atlantic, peoples across the Americas were already using their own soap plants, soapweed and the yucca root among them. Which is why more than one viewer watching that lather form recognized it at once. Cleansing plants are not a secret that a single continent kept. They are a piece of ordinary human knowledge that nearly every culture on its own discovered underfoot. So, if the plant is this good and this old, why have most of us never heard of it? The video's answer was that a $50 billion industry buried it. Here is the more honest and more unsettling version. Nothing buried it. During 2 world wars, fats and oils were pulled toward munitions. The glycerin from soap making went into explosives, and households were left short. Into that gap stepped the chemical industry with detergents built from petroleum. They were not better than the plant, they were simply available. And then they were advertised, relentlessly, until the old way looked primitive and the bottle looked like progress. In 1946, the first heavy-duty synthetic detergent reached the shelves, And within a decade, petroleum surfactants owned every store in the country. Notice what that is and what it is not. It is not a conspiracy. No one in a boardroom voted to hide Soapwort. The plant threatens the entire model simply by existing. You cannot patent a ditchweed. You cannot brand it. You cannot sell it back to the same person every 3 weeks. So no company ever had a reason to fund it, study it, or teach it. And what companies do not fund, researchers rarely study. What never appears on a shelf slowly falls out of memory. It was not suppressed. It was left out. In an economy built on attention, being ignored does the very same work as being banned, without anyone ever having to lie. That is the real story, and it is worth far more than the villain the title promised. Which brings us to the cautions the video mostly skipped, and which you genuinely need. Saponins clean because they break things down, and that same power has limits. Do not drink it. Old herbals once brewed soapwort as a cough remedy, but in any real concentration, saponins are harsh irritants to the gut, and this is not a tea to experiment with. Keep it out of creeks, ponds, and aquariums too, because saponins are truly toxic to fish and other gill-breathing animals. The very surface tension they lower is the film those creatures depend on to breathe. Use it at the sink, never in the stream. And while there is real laboratory work showing saponins can act against some microbes, that is a long way from medicine. This is a gentle historical cleanser, not a cure, and nothing here is medical advice. The old titles boast that this foams like a harsh commercial soap rather misses the point. You are not hunting the fiercest lather, you are after the gentlest thing that actually works. Now the part the comments were truly hungry for. How to actually get it, grow it, and use it. Because so many of you told the same story. Packet after packet of seed, and nothing ever came up. So here is the honest guide. Soapwort from seed is slow and often stubborn. The seed wants light, moisture, and patience, and a dry windowsill will only disappoint you. The shortcut every experienced grower knows is to skip the seed entirely. Start from a root division, a piece of an established root, or a small nursery plant, and it takes hold far faster. It thrives across a wide band of climates, in poor soil and heavy clay, in full sun or part shade, and asks almost nothing of you once it settles in. But plant it with your eyes open because this is the warning that matters most, and the one the video buried near the end. Soapwort spreads. Underground by creeping root, and above ground by seed, and across much of North America it is considered invasive, able to crowd out native plants and swallow a whole bed. That, far more than any corporation, is the real reason you rarely see it in a tidy garden. And the neighbors in the comments waving that flag are right. If you want it, contain it. A raised bed, a bordered patch, a barrier sunk in the soil, and cut the flowers before they set seed. Grow it on purpose, not by accident. Using it is simple. In autumn, when the roots are richest, dig a portion, chop it, and simmer the pieces in water for about half an hour, then strain. What is left is a gentle, liquid soap for skin, hair, dishes, or delicate cloth. Use it within a day, or keep it cold for a week. For something lighter, crush a handful of fresh leaves in water and use the lather straight away. Dried roots keep for a year or more, so a single autumn's harvest can quietly wash a great many things. So here is the whole record, not half of it. Soapwort is real. Its foam is real. Its story runs from Dioscorides to the Fullers to the peoples of this continent. And its chemistry is the same one the industry sells you in a bottle. But it was not buried by a villain. It was forgotten, the way most useful things are forgotten, because no one could profit from you remembering. You do not need a conspiracy to explain that. You only need to know it. And once you do, it is very hard to unknow. Grow it carefully, use it gently, keep it out of the water and off your tongue, and you are holding a small piece of knowledge that no war and no marketing budget ever quite managed to erase. That is what an archive is for. Not to sell you a miracle weed, but to hand you back the whole story. There is another file already waiting on the table. Open the next one with me. The archive stays open.